students, today we are taking the history civics subject, and the topic we have taken is the First War of Independence. The Indian nationalists have described the Great Uprising of 1857 as the First War of Independence. The spoils, native soldiers, and millions of Indians who took part in this war. The Hindus and the Muslims, forgetting their differences, combined against the British Raj. The mission of throwing out the British out of India did not succeed, even though it did not succeed, but the events of the 1857 continued to inspire the people in India against the struggle of the British Raj. The First War of Independence can be divided under the following headings. Number first is the political causes, social and religious causes, economic causes, and military causes. Now, taking the political causes, the first political cause was the annexation of the policy of annexation by Lord Dalhousie. He adopted the doctrine of lapse, and under this doctrine of lapse, many of the princely states of India were annexed by the British. Now, what was the doctrine of lapse? What is the meaning of doctrine of lapse? The doctrine of lapse was made by Lord Dalhousie, under which any Indian state which did not have its own child could not adopt a child. At that time, there were a number of Indian princely states like Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur. They did not have their own child. As a result of these states, princely states were being taken over by the East India Company under the doctrine of lapse. Now, this doctrine of lapse caused alarm among the people and also among the rulers, Indian rulers of India. Secondly, there was disrespect shown to the Mughal rulers like Bahadur Shah Zafar. Lord Dalhousie announced that after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, his successors will not be allowed to live or reside in the Red Fort. They will have to find out a place around or near the Qutub Minar. After this, Lord Canning announced that the successors of Bahadur Shah Zafar will not be allowed to hold the title of a king. So this also created anger among the people of India. It hurt the feelings of the people of India. Thirdly, annexation of Awadh. The Nawab of Awadh, Wajid Ali Shah, was deposed from his office because an excuse was being taken that he is not able to manage his kingdom. As a result of it, he was thrown out of his kingdom. His nobles and his servants were thrown out of his job. His military was demobilized. That means they were thrown out of their office. So, these people who were working under the Nawab, they lost their livelihood and their families suffered. As a result of it, they also became his bitter enemies. Thirdly, Nana Sahab, who was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II, was not acknowledged as a successor of the Peshwa Bajirao II because he was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. He was not given any pension. As a result of it, the people became angry and Nana Sahab became bitter enemy of the British East India Company. Similarly, there are social and religious causes. Now, there were a number of social customs which were being followed by the people of India, though these customs were not good, like sati system, child marriage, polygamy, infanticide. The British made all these social customs illegal, but the people at that time could not understand, and they began to feel that they are attacking their social customs and traditions, and they are destroying the social and the religious structure of India. That as a result of it, the people became enemies of the British. So, social and religious causes. Christian missionaries came to India, and these Christian missionaries made attempts to spread Christianity in India. But their attempts proved to be one of the causes of the First War of Independence. They began to attack the social and religious beliefs of the people of India. They not only introduced the Christian doctrines and principles in their educational institutions, but they also introduced a Bible period in the government schools. Even in jails, they kept a Christian priest, and This Christian priest was supposed to teach Bible to the prisoners in the jail. And in addition to this, British introduced railways and telegraphs in India. People did not look upon it as a positive development. People began to feel that these have been introduced to destroy the social and religious structure, fabric of India. In the railway compartment, people began to sit together, and people of different castes began to sit together. This was not liked by the people in India, because caste system was very much prevalent there at that time. So that was another important reason. Telegraph poles were being set up in different parts of India, and these poles, when they were set up, panic began to spread among the people. They began to feel that they have been set up to hang the people who will oppose the British rule in India. So that also became another factor which led to the first war of independence in India. And then there were other causes also, like they introduced new rules. For example, no tax was imposed on the property which was attached with the church, but property attached with the temples and mosques, tax was imposed on the property which was attached with the temple, with the church. Not with the church, with the temples and with the mosques. And this also hurt the feelings of the people of India. And it also created dissatisfaction among the people of India. And then we are coming to the economic causes. The British introduced new laws in India. For example, they began to impose taxes, tariffs on the goods of India, so that these goods could become costly. And the goods which were being brought from the British, no tax was imposed on them. So they became cheap compared with the goods which were manufactured in India. As a result of it, it destroyed our handicrafts, our industries. The artisans suffered due to it. Similarly, the raw material taken from India at cheap rates, like cotton, like jute, and the finished goods which were being brought from Britain, out of these things, raw materials, they became costly to the people of India. When they were brought to India, they were sold at higher rates. As a result of it, our economy suffered a lot. Similarly, we have got the military causes. In the military causes, you had the Indian soldiers who really helped the British to establish rule over India. But how they were treated by the East India Company, by the British. The Indian soldier used to get less salary compared with the British soldier. the Indian soldier could not be promoted beyond the rank of a Sobedar, whereas the British soldier had no limitation of promotions. Similarly, the British, while training the Indians soldiers, they were not treated well. They were abused and tortured during the training period. British had a feeling of superiority and they regarded Indians as inferior. Similarly, British used to feel that they are invincible. Nobody can defeat them. Nobody can cause any harm to them. But in the first Afghan war, they were defeated badly during the first Afghan war. So the Indian people and Indian soldiers felt that they could be easily defeated. They are not invincible, that they could be defeated. Similarly, the Indian soldiers were more in number in the East India Company as compared to the European or the British soldiers. So, they felt that they could easily defeat the East India Company. That gave them courage to go against the British. So, this is how